Welcome to week 10 of On Top the Cage. The show must go on. We are back.
I can't believe it's week 10.
Week 10 already.
We wait all year for football to start, and shit, it's half over.
It is more than half over.
Yeah.
17 weeks of the National Football League season, and obviously crunch time college football. Yeah.
Good grief.
Absolutely. Start out on a positive note because I have a lot to say, and a lot of it is bred from what happened on Monday night to my football team. But positive note, loyal, avid listener, friend of mine, Shannon, 35th birthday earlier this week. Happy birthday to Shannon.
Happy birthday, Shannon. 35. Enjoy it.
I know he's a loyal watcher or listener because the show gets up. I get it up probably mid-morning, like 10 o'clock or so on Thursday morning, and it gets published, and then I send it out, whatever, different ways. But like I'll get a text from Shannon like at 11:30, like, "Hey, great show, great show." I'm like, "Damn, he must have a better job than I do because he got through the entire show already." So, warmer weather. We got a great weather week. I know the bottom drops out though.
Don't matter. We've been blessed. I mean, this week has been freaking fantastic in Northeast Ohio. Still got the shorts on.
Yeah, for sure. Mid 60s all week. The bottom does fall out on Saturday. We go back to like
40 and rain.
40 and 30s. I am putting the outdoor Christmas decorations up this weekend.
In
Is
the
that too
rain?
early? Oh, hopefully it doesn't rain.
Are you going to turn them on?
No. Well, no.
Then why the hell would you do it? You should have done it last weekend.
Well, following Saturday is when we go get the trees, the live trees. So it's got to be this
my
weekend.
God.
So
It's
anyway,
like a Hallmark channel over here.
oh, that's on the board. We might as well get to it right away. I have DirecTV obviously for the NFL Sunday ticket, and my deals ran out on November 7th. It was on my calendar. I put it every year on my calendar to call and ask for more deals. I got them. They hooked me up. $90 off a month for the next 12
way.
months. Yes. And obviously we're approaching cold season here. My wife always wants the movie channels. HBO is free for the next 3 months through DirecTV. And Tom, here's your mention on the show. So when Tom comes up for the holidays, on the slower days, he likes to snuggle on the couch with the dogs and watch a good Hallmark movie. I don't know if it's the best look for him, but he does. And we got 2 additional premium Hallmark channels. We got the normal one and then 2 additional I got for you, Tom. So you are set to watch it on incredibly loud levels like you always do here. I come home from work and the TV's like blaring. Tom's on the couch with the dogs.
Man, I was all pumped because your Dolphins won last week, and I was going to mention your name more, but now, I don't know. This Hallmark thing has got me spooked.
He loves it. We're looking forward to having him up. I talked to my brother-in-law, Teddy, last night. I hadn't talked to him for a bit. He's like, "Where's my congratulations for the Braves winning the World Series?" I must have missed it. Congratulations. He was very vested. He was into it. I think it was 26 years. He'll correct me, I'm sure, if I'm wrong, since their last World Series win.
Yeah, it was like 96. No.
95, 90.
I graduated in 92 from college. I remember one of my brother's buddies was into the Braves, and they drove down to Atlanta to go to a game. So it would have been late 80s, early 90s.
So
I still have the coolers, got an Atlanta Braves sticker on it.
did they win that World Series
I
against
can't
your
remember.
Guardians?
That's when
Did they win
Schmaltz-
against your Guardians?
No.
though?
The Indians weren't in it.
It wasn't
But
Indians Guardians.
that's when they had Murderers Row with the pitchers with Smoltz and
Glavine and
good grief.
who was the soft thrower that was just like mechanical and awesome at all times? I can't believe that. It'll come to me. Maddox, Greg Maddox.
yeah.
So that is that. That's the shout out. You'll notice Teddy. I talked to Teddy last night, and you'll notice the glassware on the table.
Yeah.
He's like, "I don't like your beer review. Whenever you drink a beer, it's a lot better. You get the
This doesn't
aroma."
work for me, Teddy. This is kind of corny. This is queer.
So the glassware is out here. I have lots of people who like to give me tips and pointers on how to make the show better. I promise.
Yeah,
Usually
I'm
it's
sure.
family and
Do your own
friends.
show, Teddy.
But I oblige. We got the glassware
Teddy's
out.
Playhouse.
Yeah, for sure. And I got a lot to say about this beer game. We got to do the beer
Wait a
review.
minute. Yeah, we got to do this before we
For sure.
start
Let's
railing
talk about
on it.
this. What do we got here?
I can teach blue.
I can teach blue. I think it's a play on words. I can teach
Blueberry milkshake.
Yes. Blueberry milkshake IPAs are going to come out blue?
I don't know. Good thing we have these glasses per Teddy's.
1 pint, 7.5%.
There it is in the glass. It all foamed up, Teddy. Probably going to say I poured it like a...
It's going to take a hot minute.
It smells blue.
We're going to do last week records.
Blueberry, that's actually pretty good.
You like it?
I do like the taste.
I'm trying to get it all in this glassware. I
You're
never
get it all in there.
I drink, it does, it fits. I poured 16 ounces of water in one of these things before the show to make sure it happened.
Yeah, see, we'll have to take it on the road so then we can drink out of glasses because I got a tap system.
I got a mucho head situation going on here. I'm taking the first sip out of the actual can.
You can taste the blueberry.
100%, and I'm not afraid to admit it. I picked it for one of the reasons. I drink blueberry vodka. I know it's not the most masculine drink in the world. I mix it with Sprite Zero and 0-calorie Monster. That is my go-to drink, except for Sundays when I watch football, I drink brown.
It reminds me of like that cereal, the blueberries.
Blueberry Crunch?
Yeah.
Or is it the Count? I don't know.
Yeah, Count Chocula, blueberry.
Yeah. Blueberry. Hell, do you eat cereal?
I haven't eaten cereal in years, but
We still have cereal in the pantry quite often, and with Cinnamon Toast Crunch, I had a bowl of that the other day. I wanted something sweet. It was tasty, I tell you what.
that's sweet as hell.
I love sweet.
Get rid of this glass because it's bugging me.
My thing still, it might be foaming over.
It's a lot of fun. That is a pretty good beer though.
It is good. I can 100% taste the blueberry coming through it. So I put the can up front here. I know Teddy wanted to, that was the other tip and pointer that I got from him in regards
Thanks, producer Teddy.
All right. Last week, Dan and I both went 6-8 on the week. Dan is 60, 75, and 1. I've been over 500 the entire season so far. I still am. I'm 68, 67, and 1. I need a good week to stay above 500. The good news is last week, Dan and I both hit our elephant picks. Dan was very confident about Cleveland, and they blew the doors off Cincinnati. I won with the Los Angeles Chargers going into Philadelphia and winning. Just bring something up because this show is going to be long because I promise you I'm going to explain what happened on Monday night about the game and what happened here. It wasn't a great look for me. But there's, like on Sunday when it came around, I regretted my Cincinnati Bengal pick and I regretted my Los Angeles Rams pick.
So did you change them? And didn't
No, we choose on Wednesday. Personally, I did. I didn't change the Cleveland.
You're changing mine. That's why I was 6-8.
I
felt like I was undefeated when I texted you.
I personally played the Titans on Sunday night
down.
after quite a few drinks. No, it's all correct. It's right. You can play it back.
Usually when I play it back, I'm drinking.
Yeah, makes it better. Let's talk about what happened on Monday night. The Chicago Bears are on bye, so we're going to talk exactly what happened out here. Well, what happened out here? Obviously, you're watching the game. And over here, my son Keaton, who I've kind of turned into a rabid Bear fan, he was out here. My neighbor, buddy Brian, has been my neighbor for 20 years. He was out here. But the first half went however it did. And, the Bears didn't exactly play well. But then the second half happened. The Bears turned it on, and they got absolutely hosed by the officiating. And I completely lost my mind. I am very animated when I watch the Bears, and there's a difference when the Bear football players are not playing well, and there'll be plenty of, are you freaking kidding me, and some choice words and things like that, but not what happened on Monday night. I completely lost it because in my mind, the officials stole the game from the Chicago Bears, and it was not a pretty scene. We'll go through some of the plays, but at one point, the first half, I didn't have a whole lot of problems the first half. The second half just went completely wrong. There was
how many penalties did they have? 10, 12?
12.
Okay.
And the Steelers had
Five of them were dumb Bears penalties lining up offsides.
That's
stupid. That's just so freaking dumb.
I mean, we're going to go through the taunting call towards the end of the game, but that wasn't the call that really broke the back, if you ask me, for the Bears. The Bears threw a touchdown pass, and there was a 15-yard penalty called against the Bears' right guard, James Daniels, for a low block. It's a new rule this year. It has to be outside of the tackle box. First of all, he was not anywhere close to being outside the tackle box. Second of all,
It has to be inside, not outside.
It's outside the tackle box.
To cut somebody?
Yes, it's outside the tackle box. He wasn't
It had
outside
to be inside.
It's outside for the penalty.
For the penalty,
being
yeah. So
forced.
if you're
Correct.
inside, you can do it.
He was not outside the tackle box, nor did he even make contact with the Pittsburgh defender. It took 4 points off the board because the Bears did not end up with a touchdown that drive. They ended up with a field goal. There was a pass interference called against Jalen Johnson. There was a roughing the passer penalty where
The roughing the passers, that's where I got a real problem with that.
the Bears got called for it against Ben.
Your defensive lineman jacks the offensive lineman so far backwards that the offensive lineman hits the quarterback and you get called for roughing the passer. That's horseshit.
It was absolutely ridiculous.
That's...
I was pissed off at that. The play that I mentioned earlier with James Daniels, one thing that happened, and Brian, your apologies coming, buddy. I completely lost it when they took the Bear touchdown off the board. After I saw the replay, I drink out of plastic cups. I have my own designer Flying Turtle Lounge cups. It was full of that blueberry vodka drink because it was Monday. It was not Sunday, so I was not drinking brown. It was full. I promptly Gronk spiked it on the ground as hard as I could, shattered the cup. The liquid goes everywhere outside the garage. Keaton, at this
you
point,
have a problem. That's alcohol abuse, Ken. I'm really worried about you.
At this point, Keaton's like,
you threw a drink away over a game.
Dude,
That's
whatever.
pathetic.
I was so pissed. I mean, I threw it as hard as I possibly could. I had to go get another one. I broke a shelf in the fridge. When I was doing that, Keaton ends up going inside, and Keaton, is, out of our four boys, is probably the most rambunctious, obnoxious, foul-mouthed, if you will. We try to curb that to an extent.
He's talking in the garage.
He went inside. He goes inside. And all the dogs were out here at this point in time. Oakley and Tucker were smart enough to go in. Oliver, I don't know how he didn't make it in. But so I'm wildly pissed off. I break a shelf in there as well. And Brian, my neighbor, who took some of the brunt of it, he's looking at me, and he's seen all kinds of good and bad over here. I promise you, he's seen the good times and bad times over. He's been my neighbor for 20 years. He's looking at me, and I'm looking at him, and first of all, I notice Oliver. Oliver's like cuddled up next to him on the golf cart, which generally sits right behind where Dan is. Oliver doesn't even really like Brian unless he brings pizza over. Brian owns his own pizza shop. So Oliver likes Brian when he has pizza, but not so much. But Oliver's like all on top of Brian, like, holy shit, what is going on here? Brian looks at me, and I'm like, don't even look at me. I yelled at Brian even. So, Brian, I apologize. It was over the top. And then we're going to go through this taunting play.
I'm getting you a phone number.
We're gonna go through this taunting play. So, well, first...
We might need to have an intervention.
It's the Steelers are third and long.
Strap Ken down and make him watch poor officiated plays.
Oh, my God. I've never seen a game where there have been so many bad calls and they all went against the same team. It happened to be my team this time. I don't recall. I've watched a ton of football. I don't recall so many calls going against him. I mean, we talked about the Roethlisberger situation where they got the 15-yard penalty because he's been, but there were a couple of plays with Fields on the Bears' late drives.
He was getting thrown around so late, it wasn't even funny.
I'm going to mention the play where he scrambled and slid and he got hit in the neck and head area. And sometimes it's called, sometimes it's not. It didn't get called. Fine, it didn't get called. But like a play or two later, he absolutely gets destroyed in the back where clearly the Pittsburgh defender could have backed off the play.
Took two steps.
At least, or maybe three.
Yeah, high tower or high water, whatever.
I give some credit to the Monday Night Football booth in regards to this because Brian Greasy and Louis Riddick were taking the officials to task at this point. And the head official is Tony Corinthian. He called all of them, and boy, so here's where the taunting play comes in. So first of all, the Steelers are third and long. They're at midfield, and Ben gets away for a bit, and then I never seen this guy before, and I take pride in this. I feel like I know all the Bears players, including the practice squad. I never saw this guy before, heard this guy's name in my life before, and it never happens. His name's Cassius Marsh. He got signed from the practice squad that week and got elevated for the Miami football game. That day, yes.
That day.
So he's in playing. And first of all, I said, I'm like, who the fuck is that guy? Where'd it go? And I'm like, damn, that dude looks like, here's what I said. I'm like, damn, that dude looks like one of those surfer bank robbers from the movie Point Break.
Well, he's from UCLA, so.
I don't know. But then.
Yeah, that's where he played college at UCLA.
And was previously on the Steelers
On the
football
Steelers,
team.
so that's why I was like, see, well, you cut me.
We're going to go through this whole taunting bullshit. So what happens after he sacks Ben? He executes this super sweet ass like roundhouse kung fu kick, right?
He did it, and then somebody else did it too on the Bears. I was like, what the hell's going on over there?
It was awesome, right? It was awesome. Like, it was fantastic. And then what he does, he proceeds to walk probably 10 yards towards the Steeler bench, and he's still probably 15 yards away from the Steeler bench.
He's at the hash.
At the hash.
NFL hashes.
He's not even at the numbers. No. He's not the numbers. Between the hash and the numbers, he's a good 15 yards away from the Steeler bench. Doesn't say a word, looks that way. The flag's still not being thrown, and fucking Tony Correnti, as he's running off the field, Tony Correnti, and he can lie all he wants. He intentionally hip-checked, backed into Cassius Marsh. And then, this is why I know it's all about fucking Tony Correnti. Because what he does is he does that, he grabs his flag, he doesn't proceed to put it on the ground, he throws it in the air like 10 to 15 yards. Like, this is about him. It's not about you. It's not about you. It's ridiculous. So, this happens. I fire off a tweet, Roger Goodell. NFL commissioner, I'm livid at this point in time. I fired off a tweet. It wasn't very nice. The hashtag at the end of it said, the Bears got fucked. I'm pretty sure it got flagged because I didn't see it go through. I'm immediately pissed about that. I fired off another one. No response. Hit me back, Raj. We got some shit to talk about. But unbelievable. Like, I've never seen that many. And it changed the course of the game, too, because the Steelers ended up getting, they for sure had to punt, in that sequence after the sack. They ended up getting 3 points on that drive.
Totally.
The Bears got 7 points.
Yeah,
well, they got 4 points stolen.
The Bears are going to have to punt.
It's ridiculous what happened.
It stopped them. But, I mean, and I said this before because, I mean, the Browns get screwed all the time. All the time. I mean, Donovan Peoples-Jones has a sweet catch down the sideline, gets freaking ear-holed in the side of the head. No flag, but the refs make him go out because of concussion protocol. And I'm like, wait, he has to leave the game, but the guy that hit him, there's no So the officiating this year stinks. And another example is Jalen Ramsey should have been tossed from his game this weekend. Right. 2 personal fouls. You should have been, see you later.
I mean,
it's a joke.
And the officiating's been bad. I mean, where's the accountability?
There's none.
I looked it up. Walt Anderson is the head of the NFL officiating. I sent him a tweet too. He didn't respond either. Walt, we can talk. But where's the accountability here for none. How off? I mean, Tony Correnti made that game about him. I think he was pissed that, like, you don't do that on my field. This is my show. It's not your show, Tony Correnti. It's the player's show, and that cannot rear its head during a playoff game and affect the outcome of a game like that.
Even picking these games, we're going to have to know who the officiating crew is now in every one of these friggin' games.
I think Tony Correnti had been chirped at by the Bears sideline by probably all second half because of his shitty calls that he made, and I think he wanted to punish the Bears. I'm super pissed off about it. The good news for the Bears, who are not on the board, and I'll stop talking about them in a second, is that Justin Fields played really well, and he is a big moment player. He showed it again. He got the Bears down the field. They took the lead. They couldn't find a way to keep it. I mean, the field goal kicker for the Steelers was, like, fantastic in the fourth quarter. He banged 2 50-yard field goals, 340-yard field goal, whatever it is. The Bears got the game stolen from them. But I guess that's the end of the introduction section. Do we have anything more we need to talk about before we get into the games?
Well, the crew's out of the playoffs, and the U.S. men are playing Mexico down in Cincinnati on Friday.
That is right. Oh, geez. I tell you what, and welcome back college basketball. I forgot that part. I knew that. Well, I kind of missed it. I didn't realize it was happening, frankly, until I went to look for the results show for college football rankings, and I'm like, what the hell's going on?
You got
There's
to
wall-to-wall college basketball, like every sports channel.
Akron, you take Ohio State to task.
So welcome back, college basketball. We got a plethora of sports going on now. So that's great. And yeah, I'm looking forward to the men's national team. Their World Cup qualifying is what Dan is referencing. They do play their arch rival Mexico down in Cincinnati on Friday night at 9 p.m., I believe. All right, we are on to football. Thursday night football. The Baltimore Ravens, they're 6-2. They travel down the East Coast to play the in-laws team, the Miami Dolphins. Baltimore, or the Fins, are 2-7 on the year, a disappointing season. Baltimore's minus 7.5 in this game. The over/under is 46.5. Baltimore, they come off a win again in overtime against Minnesota, a game that they probably didn't.
Won.
Yeah, I mean, Minnesota's played so many games down to the buzzer. It's been ridiculous. Baltimore's passing game came to life, and they continue to get better in that regard. I mean, there's a lot of parity in this league. Miami 2-7. Is Tua going to play? I'm not sure if Tua's going to play this week or not, or if it's going to be Jacoby Brissett again.
Oh, no, I thought I heard Brissett was playing.
I don't know. I mean, Miami still has a pretty good defense. They come off a win against Houston.
Finger.
He's got a finger issue.
Wow.
They come off a win against Houston, a pretty boring game. I want to say it ended up being 17-6 or something like that. Baltimore's minus 7.5 in this game. You giving it, Dan?
No. Screw the Ratbirds. I'm taking Miami. I need somebody to beat the Ratbirds. It's going to be Miami on Thursday night. They shouldn't, but Miami. I'm going with Miami.
No, I'm going to go the other way. I don't like doing it against the in-laws. It's Lamar Jackson.
Me and Tom, baby.
It's Lamar Jackson, the big play potential of the Baltimore offense. I just don't think there's enough offense. I mean, Baltimore's not a good defensive team, if you ask me, but Miami's just not explosive at all on the offensive side of the ball. I'm giving it 7.5. That is Thursday night football. The 1 p.m. slates with in-division game. The Buffalo Bills, who are 5-3, they travel to play the New York Jets.
Buffalo sucks when they go to Florida.
They're not in Florida.
I know, but we're not going to talk about them losing.
We will. We're 100% going to talk about it. The Jets are 2-6 on the year. Buffalo is a 13-point favorite in this game. The over-under is 47.5. Buffalo comes off a absolutely what the fuck happened loss in Jacksonville, where their offense put up 0 touchdowns and 6 points.
They looked awful.
What is going on?
I have no clue. They can't run the ball, and I don't think they have the offensive line to stand there and throw it all day.
I mean, the perfect remedy or tonic is this week, the Jets. I mean, obviously they're huge favorites. I mean, the Jets lost on Thursday night in Indianapolis. Mike White, the Mike White show, was up and running in Indianapolis. He went down the field, led their team right down the field for a touchdown, and promptly hurt his finger or hand.
Yeah.
He's back this week. I saw it today. Mike White will be the starting quarterback for the New York Jets. What do you think? Is this game going to be close?
I'm going to have to go with the paper airplanes. 13's too big of a number for what I've seen from Buffalo.
Me too. I need to see this happen first. I mean, Buffalo is just messed up on offense right now.
Well, they can't run the ball. They're awful.
It's been a few weeks since we've seen somewhat of an explosive offense from the Buffalo Bills, and I like Mike White he's a straight-up gunslinger. He's not afraid to throw it. I mean, it could get him in trouble. Maybe there's a pick six or something like that. He's not afraid to wing the ball around the football field. I like watching him play. I, too, like the Jets to put up some points on this Buffalo defense and keep this game under the number. Dan and I are both on the paper airplanes. I think I've been on the airplanes like 3 or 4 times, like probably 3 times this year.
We both picked him last week, but then he freaking got hurt.
Right. I know. Oh, they almost made it back all the way. Do you see they got to damn near the goal line to get that game on the number? I hate losing Thursday night football games. Dan and I are odds on a Thursday night football game, but it pisses me off when I start out 0-1 on the football slate for On Top of the Cage. The next game up is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers playing the Washington football team. Tampa Bay 6-2. The Washington football team is the opposite record of 2-6. Both teams come off bye, which is kind of weird, but Tampa Bay's installed as a 10-point favorite. This is a rematch of that really fun playoff football wild card game of last year. I mean, whether or not it's going to be the same result. I mean, here's the thing. The Buccaneer offense is so good. I think Gronk is hurt again. But, I mean, they just have playmakers upon playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. The defense has kind of been ho-hum. But I haven't seen anything that inspires me at all from the Washington football team on either side of the ball.
Very disappointed in them.
I mean, here's the thing. They're not getting to the passer. I mean, Tom Brady, great player, but he's a statue back there. I mean, he doesn't move. You know exactly where he's going to be as a defensive end rushing the passer. But they've not been able to get to the quarterback consistently all year. I'm going to take the lead. I think Tampa Bay destroys them.
I do too. I'm going with Tampa Bay.
We're both laying a very big number, -10 with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Next game on the board, this is going to be a high-scoring game, I'm sure. The Atlanta Falcons. By the way, the Atlanta Falcons, do you know that if the season ended today, they are the last wild card in the NFC? Teddy, congratulations. Your incredible sports year continues as they are playing pretty good football right now. Atlanta goes down to Big D. Atlanta's 4-4. Dallas is 6-2. Dallas is the 9-point favorite in this game. The over/under is a whopping 55 points. Atlanta comes off a pretty impressive win in New Orleans. The game they had control of the game. The game got really tight at the end. Atlanta found a way to win. They've completely unlocked Cordarrelle Patterson, who has been on a lot of different teams. Is a great athlete, runs the ball, catches the ball. I don't know what's going on. Ridley still. I mean, Pitts is a great athlete. Dallas, what happened? Let's talk about a loss at home to Denver where they got absolutely destroyed.
They got destroyed. I mean, the offense looked like crap. I don't know.
How does that happen? That offense is so... Nobody shut down the Dallas offense all year.
They should have left Cooper Rush there.
What? No. Come on now. I don't think it was Dak's issue there, but, I mean, they were down 30-0.
He's part of the offense.
They were down 30-0 to Denver, and they got some garbage time touchdowns, but Denver completely shut them down. I have no idea. Is that a blip? Are they? I mean, I declared them as what I thought was the best NFC football, the best team in the NFC last week before that Denver game, and I don't share that opinion anymore.
Some report Vic Fangio's defense. He has a way to beat Dak Prescott in the way they play offense.
Okay.
And then part of that tree is Staley from the Chargers.
Brandon
the Chargers. I mean,
Dallas -9.
I'm going with Dallas because the difference here is Quinn. Dan Quinn, the defensive coordinator, is going to destroy Atlanta.
Teddy Bridgewater put up 38 points against them last week.
Destroy Atlanta.
No way.
I'm going with Dallas.
I'm going with the Dirty Birds. I like the points. I like a high-scoring game. I like the backdoor touchdown possibility for Atlanta to keep the game close. I'm going to go with the Falcons with the +9. Next game on the board, a pretty intriguing game. The New Orleans Saints travel up to Tennessee, I guess. New Orleans 5-3. Tennessee is 7-2. Tennessee is -3 in this game. The over/under is 44.5. New Orleans, we just talked about them coming off their loss against Atlanta. I mean, Trevor Siemian's still running the show there, if you will, on offense. I guess. I mean, and they can sprinkle in Taysom Hill, the handyman, Swiss Army knife guy. But I mean, I wasn't impressed by that team at all when they were playing Atlanta. But Tennessee, wildly impressed by this team. They have won 4 straight, and you know who they're against? Buffalo, Kansas City, Indianapolis, and the Los Angeles Rams. Dude, those are 4 pretty damn good football teams that they beat. Without Derrick Henry last week, no Derrick Henry, no problem. They went into SoFi, and they kicked the shit out of the Rams. They 100% did. The defense is playing fantastic all of a sudden.
Yeah, against the Rams, they were lights out. And Matt Stafford looked like Matt Stafford in Detroit.
I mean, the defense looked formidable all of a sudden. Not out of nowhere. They've been playing really well the last few weeks. We love Vrabel. Tennessee's 7-2. Are they the 1 seed in the AFC right now? If the playoffs start? I don't know. I mean, I have to look at the board. Tennessee's -3 in this game. I like Tennessee a lot in this game to keep the momentum going and keep churning out victories. The line's short enough to me. It's a field goal. I love the Titans in this game.
Yeah, I'm going with the Titans.
All right, next game on the board. Not as fun game. Jacksonville. They are 2-6. They go play in division against Indianapolis. Indianapolis is 4-5. They need a win to stay in this thing. Jacksonville comes off that shocking win against Buffalo. A defensive effort.
What was the final?
9-6. Yes. 9-6.
Got the two-finger salute from Irvin after. Bang, bang.
I tell you what, Indianapolis minus 10.5 in this game. It's a big number. They come off that Thursday night win against the New York Jets. I love their ground game. I love Jonathan Taylor. I love the ground game. Wentz sometimes makes really bad decisions when he's pressured. I mean, when he has time in the pocket, I mean, it looks pretty good, but I think that's any quarterback. 10.5, it's a pretty big number, Dan.
I'm going with Jacksonville. That's too big. I'm not sold on Wentz there and the shit that's going on. I'm taking Jacksonville. I think Indy wins, but not by 10.5.
I'm going to lay all the points with Indianapolis at 10.5. It's based upon their record being 4-5 and knowing they got to come out here and show big. I expect a big performance from the Indianapolis Colts in this game. I mean, you're talking about wild card for them for sure. Obviously, they've lost 2 games to Titans. They're not going to win that division. Tennessee being at 7-2, but there's a lot of teams in the mix for that wild card.
There's a ton.
And you're looking at what they play 17 games this year. You're probably looking at 9-8 being the record you need at a minimum, probably to get in as a wild card. There's 3 as opposed to 2 as there were. I mean, that changed last year. But, I mean, they need us to win. I expect them to come out and show big. I like the Colts giving all the number at 10.5. I don't think I'm going to see a repeat performance from that defense that Jacksonville put on the field last week against Buffalo.
Yeah. I'm taking a pee. You can talk about the next game.
Oh, all right, fair enough. Detroit, the winless Detroit Lions. They're 0-8. They go into Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's 5-3. Detroit comes off bye. They get a week to try to figure this out, where they're going to get their first win. Is it going to be in Pittsburgh this week? The Pittsburgh Steelers, they come off their win against the Bears. I didn't put on the board because I forgot to, because I made the board earlier than Monday or before the Monday night game. I think the Steelers are 5-3 if I'm not mistaken. The Steelers are installed as a 9-point favorite. Good news for the Lions, they didn't lose last week. They were on bye, like I said. We talked a lot about the Steelers game against the Bears. They're my sign. The Steelers are winners of 4 straight games. They beat Dan's team last week. They beat my team, or I guess they beat Dan's team 2 weeks ago. They beat my team earlier this week on Monday night. I'm still not impressed by that football team in regards to they're not scary to me on offense. Their defense is good. Certainly not going to call them great. I know where I'm going on this game, but I'm going to wait for Dan to come back in the picture. Could you hear me when I was talking?
Yeah, they're not scary at all. Their offense blows. Their defense, I mean, you saw what happened in the second half. I'm picking Detroit in this one.
So am I. I think that Lions team that played every game close rears its head again this week off a bye week. Still like Dean Campbell and his fight, and it's weird how they've shown up a good chunk of the season in a couple of games that they're
not going 0-16. They're going to beat somebody.
They're good. They're a feisty enough football team, probably is the best way to put it, to find a way to win one of these games. I don't know if it's going to be at the Confluence in Pittsburgh, but I like them to get under the number of 9 as well. Dan and I are both on the Detroit Lions. Great game on the board next, and it happens to involve Dan's team, the Cleveland Browns. They travel out to Foxborough to play the New England Patriots. Both these teams have the same record of 5-4. New England has been installed as a 1.5 favorite in this game. The over/under is 45. A lot of news out of Berea, meaning the headquarters for the Cleveland Browns. Well, let's start with Beckham. Let's talk about that for a second.
Old blowjob? He's gone, so we don't even waste our time on him. He's not on the team anymore. I'm not talking about him.
I agree.
Wyatt Teller signed him to an extension. Joel Bitonio, extension. We're taking care of business here. The biggest issue is friggin' COVID.
Right, and we're going to get to it, but I want to talk. I mean, Beckham. I mean,
I'm not talking about. No. I'm not listening.
That's fine.
He's not on the team.
I agree.
He's a free agent. That's old news. You should have talked about it last week. Let's go.
I think he's addition by subtraction for them.
He didn't do anything when he was here.
Right. I don't think Odell Beckham's been relevant in the league since like 2018 or whatever, the year before he got hurt with the Giants. He hasn't made a difference in Cleveland at all. Whatever. He's going to go play wherever he does, and we'll see what happens with that. I don't really care either. Dan just mentioned the very good offensive line that the Cleveland Browns have. I love your team come playoff time. I think they're going to make the playoff time. I mean, their formula, their recipe is play good defense and pound the rock. And they have probably the best offensive line in the National Football League. Their recipe to win come playoff time is off the charts. It's Betty Crocker. I mean, it's really good.
They're locked up. Those 5 guys are locked up through 2022.
I mean, that's great. I mean, they are built for winter weather, and they're going to go through some of it. And they're going to be a brutal out once they get in, I think. So let's talk about the Patriots, though. I mean, they're winners of 3 in a row.
Well, but wait, let's go back to Cleveland. We got COVID. Nick Chubb's got COVID. Felton's got COVID. Kareem Hunt is not playing yet. He's not hurt. I mean, we have 1 running back.
D'Ernest. It's the D'Ernest show again.
Yeah.
I know they put a guy on the practice squad.
Just had another guy, Nick Harris, that dude from Washington, backup lineman, just went on the COVID list today too. So we're in enhanced COVID protocol. So we have to have virtual meetings and bullshit and daily testing. So holy shit, I hope we have a team come Sunday.
Fortunately for your football team, the running back room is super deep. We saw D'Ernest Johnson rear his head on that Thursday night football game against Denver. Looks like a quality running back. I know they tried to put a waiver claim in for, I want to say his last name is Foreman. He's been a running back in the league. They got beat out by someone who has a worse record on the waiver wire. They added somebody to the practice squad, but it's going to be D'Ernest Johnson's show. And, I mean, he showed pretty well in that game against Denver on Thursday night. Let's talk about the Patriots, though, for a second here. They are 5-4. They're half a game back of the Buffalo Bills for the lead.
I mean, they're in the middle of it with everybody else. I mean, this is the AFC 5-4.
And their formula is somewhat similar to the Browns. I mean, these are like mirror images of teams. Play good defense, run the ball, hit the play action play when the defense cheats up because they can't stop your running game.
Yeah.
That's what these 2 teams do.
Well, but New England's playing an easier schedule than the Browns. That's the difference.
Maybe.
Maybe.
New England comes off a win against Carolina, a game that they probably should have won. I think Dan and I both took the points with the Panthers, but that's here nor there. New England's -1.5 in this game. I mean, I've really struggled with this game, and I still
I'm struggling with it too because of the COVID stuff with the Browns. But they're the Browns, so I'm taking Cleveland because it's only 1.5.
The Browns are a better team,
You got
top to bottom, on paper. I'm going with the New England Patriots at home at Foxborough. I mean, that crowd is going to be raucous. I mean, they're right there. And Buffalo's playing a shitty brand of football right now. They can smell that division. And I don't know if those teams have played each other, meaning New England and Buffalo yet. But, I mean, Belichick's got this team in the thick of things, for sure. Not only the wild card race, that division race of the AFC East.
You can't, yeah.
So I'm going to go with the Pats at Foxborough, -1.5. I do think the Browns are a better team. I can't wait to watch them play come playoff time. I think they're going to wreck people. So I'm happy for the people here in Northeast Ohio. Next game on the board I think is a really good game. It starts the 4 p.m. slate. It's the Minnesota Vikings traveling, who only play great games, against the LA Chargers. Minnesota is a hard luck 3-5 football team. The Chargers are the opposite record of 5-3. We talked briefly about this already. Minnesota coming off that loss against Baltimore in overtime. The Chargers have been installed as a point or a 2.5-point favorite in this game. The over-under is 52. That's a pretty big number. I mean, they only play close games. They win or lose at the buzzer all the time, this Vikings team.
The Vikings have become the Chargers of old.
Yeah, that's right. They kind of, like about face, if you will.
Yeah.
The Los Angeles Chargers come off a really fun game to watch, and I watched it all because I played the game personally. Again, a win in Philadelphia, where it was a back-and-forth game, and there was a lot of offense. It was a fun game to watch, if you will. The Charger offense, Herbert looked better. Their defense, all of a sudden, which I thought was good, looks pretty porous.
They can't stop the run.
And Dalvin Cook's coming to town. I mean, Dalvin Cook has there's some wild lawsuit filed against him, and he says he's a victim. Who knows about that?
Yeah.
He's playing. That backfield room is pretty good, too. That Alexander Madison cat, who is his backup, is a damn good player as well. Chargers -2.5 in this game. It's a short line, Dan. Is the Chargers going to win this game?
I'm going with Minnesota.
I'm not. I like Herbert. I like the way he turned things around. I like them being at home. I'm -2.5. We have a boatload of games different, Dan. We're going to recap this before we do the elephant picks. All right, next game on the board, the Carolina Panthers. They travel out to Arizona. Arizona's a 10-point favorite in this game, another big line. Over-under is 44. We talked briefly. Carolina comes off that loss against New England. Sam Darnold sucks. He's not playing this week. It's P.J. Walker, the XFL guy, who is from Temple. Matt Rule's familiar with him, obviously. So we have that situation. I mean, he's a mobile quarterback, completely different than Darnold. So it's kind of something else for the Arizona Cardinal defense to study, I suppose. Arizona comes off a big shorthanded win. I mean,
Colt McCoy.
Really shorthanded win.
Colt McCoy was on Arizona's team.
I didn't know he was in the league. No Kyler Murray, as Dan mentioned. No D-Hop. He didn't play. Do you know that? The running back out of Pittsburgh, the cancer guy. Connor.
Yeah. James Conner.
He leads the National Football League in touchdowns with 11. I didn't know. I was not aware. I was shocked when I saw that earlier in the week. But yeah, I mean, no Kyler, no D-Hop, no freaking problem. I mean, is the defense that good, and is both sides of the ball that good with Arizona? Arizona minus 10.
Team's that good. I'm going to take Arizona because Carolina, I think the wheels are falling off there. They started off hot. Defense was good. McCaffrey, what's his deal?
He got play. I didn't hear this week. It's Wednesday. It's Wednesday. Yeah, well, I suppose he wants to play. I mean, we're only halfway through the season, but
you don't have a quarterback.
No, and Matt Rule basically publicly shamed Darnold and said today, yeah, we're looking at all options at quarterback going forward type of thing.
Well,
and the quarterback draft, we've mentioned it 3 times probably in the 10 weeks of this show. The draft,
it's awful.
They
took a flyer on Darnold. That's fine. You realize he's not good. I mean, he's not good. It wasn't the Jets that wrecked him. He's just not good. We knew that when he was coming out of USC just from watching him against Notre Dame.
I saw a Mel Kiper, Todd McShay thing where he said that there were probably 10 people to 15 people drafted in the second or third round of last year's draft that would be first round draft picks this year. All the experts, if you will, and you never know how this is going to pan out, but I mean, it alluding to a very weak NFL draft competition, not only at the quarterback position, other positions as well. I mean, obviously each position group. Last year was a very strong wide receiver group again, and things like that. I mean, the quarterback group, which is the difference makers, is really down. So I'm going to lay it 2.
And those guys can't pick shit because if you want to evaluate those idiots, then go back 5 years and see who they picked.
3. I was going to say 3. 5 works too.
They're all dumbasses. They don't fucking matter. I mean, look at the Raiders. They just got rid of 2 first-round picks.
Oh, Jesus. What a mess.
Because they're friggin' criminals.
They're coming up. I want to talk about – I'm glad you mentioned that. It'll log my mind. Because I want to talk about drafting and being the Las Vegas Raiders when we get to that game on the board.
I'm kind of tired of watching a game like the Monday Night Crew. I do like watching the Manning cast, and I'm disappointed that it's not on.
What do you think would have happened with the Manning cast in the Bears-Steelers game? What do you think they would have done in regards to the calls and this and that? Do you think they would have went ballistic? Because
they've never railed on the refs, so I don't know how they would have handled that. But it's so much better than listening to the normal crew that just is so lovey-dovey to freaking everybody on the field. They're not critical about anything. They're not critical about coaches. Nothing. It's so freaking annoying.
The Mancast is raw. It's transparent.
Yeah.
It's refreshing is what it is for the viewers.
Sunday's Browns game, I had it on the TV in the garage, but I had the radio on.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to hear Romo.
Is it Jim Donovan?
The whole game, Jim Donovan and Doug Deacon. Did not want to hear Romo.
I do like Jim Donovan. He's a local Browns raucous. He's fantastic.
They're just these TV guys are just so misogynistic. It's not even freaking funny.
Dan's right. I mean, the Manning cast has been a huge hit for viewers because they like the transparency. They like the rawness of it.
Yeah, I like Marshawn Lynch getting on there and throwing an F-bomb. Because that's what I'm freaking doing. That's what you're doing.
There was 3 FCC complaints against
Eli
Manning.
It's cable.
FCC.
Yeah. Boom.
Yeah, right there. Unison. Dan, we gave him 4.
Yeah.
4 thumbs up on that one. We got to get back to this damn game. We're on Arizona -10. What do you think?
Arizona.
I'm with it too. I like the Arizona steamroll going forward. They're playing great football. They're 8-1. I like them to continue it. We're both on Arizona -10. Next game on the board, Philadelphia travels out to Denver. Philadelphia's 3-6. Denver's 5-4. Denver has been installed or placed at a 3-point favorite. Philadelphia comes off a pretty fun football game that they lost at home against the Los Angeles Chargers, a pretty good team. Their defense got shredded. I mean, Jalen Hurts played okay. The offense has some firepower. Denver comes off just crazy results last week.
Crazy.
An absolute beatdown of the Dallas Cowboys in Big D. I mean, I don't know what Jerry Jones is doing. Probably shooting whiskey. I don't know what he was doing. But Denver's -3 in this game. Are they going to cover this, Denver? They're 5-4, by the way. Did I mention the records? Philly's 3-3.
Yeah.
Denver's 5-4. They're right there. I mean, shockingly there in regards to the. I mean, I don't know if what the playoff picture shows and what the tiebreakers show, because I think there's quite a few AFC teams at 5-4. But Denver's right in the mix in regards to playoffs. We were talking about Big Fangio being fired early in the year. Now they're in the playoff hunt. What do you think?
I just have to go with Denver on this one. I like Jalen Hurts. They're kind of a mess, though. They somehow they stay in the game. I'm going to go with Denver.
So am I. It's short enough for me. I think it comes down to a field goal. I like Denver at least getting it. Maybe they win the game by 4 to push Dan and I over the number. Altitude difference. There's always that issue in regards to teams traveling to Denver. I mean, they'll be using lots of oxygen and this and that, blah, blah, blah.
Philly guys might be smoking weed Saturday night.
Yeah, they're in the playoff mix, though, Denver, and they got to be feeling good about themselves after that win. I like the snowball going downhill. 'Tis the season, for me at least. I know Dan's like, it is not the season, but it is for me. It's November, so it is holiday time for me. We are both on the Denver Broncos -3 in this game. Next game on the board, very fun football game. The Seattle Seahawks travel to Green Bay to play the Green Bay Packers. Seattle comes off bye. Green Bay comes off a loss in Kansas City. Green Bay is a 3.5-point favorite in this game. The over-end is 49. Let's talk about the whole theme of this thing is the quarterbacks are back. Russell Wilson came back really quick from his finger dislocation that happened on, I want to say, a Thursday night football game. It didn't look like a whole lot.
Yeah.
They were talking about 4 to 8 weeks. I think it's been 3. I don't know. He's back quick. In regards to this, obviously they're a lot different team when Russell Wilson's playing quarterback as opposed to Geno Smith. Green Bay, I mean, they went the old school route with Jordan Love to sit him on the bench for a year or two or whatever it is. He didn't look very good out in San Francisco to me, which bodes well for my Chicago Bears football team. Bear down. With that being said, I mean, Aaron Rodgers, the mercurial dude he is, and I don't buy his explanation of shit in regards to his COVID situation, but they're -3.5. Did you see there did come out this just yesterday or maybe today. The Packers were fined $300,000.
Oh, yeah.
But meanwhile, okay, and that's all well and good because I think the Broncos last year got fined something similar to that monetary amount. But meanwhile, they fined Aaron Rodgers $14,650. He has it in his back fucking pocket. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I mean, defensive players get fined that amount for hitting a quarterback. By the way,
there's nothing they can do. That's the fine that the NFL, that's what they agreed on.
For repeated violations?
Well,
we're talking about 9 weeks of not wearing a mask on the sideline and 9 weeks of not wearing a mask in press conferences.
I agree with that.
That's 18.
Yeah.
That's 18 times 14. I don't know if that is, but I think it's about the same amount that his franchise was penalized.
I agree.
And he still has that probably in his back fucking pocket. He's a wealthy dude. Good for him. He's a great player. I don't like what he did. I don't like his deception. He's a great player. There's no getting around it. Green Bay -3.5. What do you think?
Is he playing?
Oh, yeah.
I got to go with Green Bay at Lambeau.
I'm going with Seattle. I think it's a great game. I think it's going to be a great game. I like Seattle to be energized by the return of Russell Wilson. They need this game. I mean, they have a lousy record, but they're not a bad football team. They're not. Their defense isn't great. Green Bay's offense is great. But I don't know. I feel like this is going to be a back of probably one of these games where we'll get to like Sunday and I'll be looking at this. I'm like, why did I pick the Seattle Seahawks? I'm going to take the Seahawks plus 3.5. Sunday Night Football is on the board next. It is the Kansas City Chiefs in division going out to Las Vegas.
Wait, we get Kansas City primetime 2 weeks in a row?
Yes. Who did they play last week on primetime? Sunday Night Football?
Weren't they Sunday Night Football? Kansas City and it was a 4 o'clock game.
Yeah. Kansas City 5-4 in that wild card mix. The Las Vegas Raiders are 5-3. Is Las Vegas at the top of that thing? And Denver's 5-4. And the Chargers. Chargers must be atop of it. Chargers are 5-3. Okay, the Chargers are 5-3. Vegas is 5-3. Both the Broncos and the Chiefs are 5-4. You talk about a tight division.
Alphabetical order.
Holy shit, tight division. Kansas City's minus 2.5. They come off their win against Green Bay versus a Green Bay team minus 12, minus Aaron Rodgers.
A stellar victory.
No, it wasn't. And Las Vegas, they come off a poor performance across country, as it will be, against the New York Giants. You're right about the Giants. The Giants won that game outright when the Raiders were 3-point favorites. Kansas City's minus 2.5 in this game. The over-under is 51. I mean, Kansas City's offense is still sputtering. I mean,
no, they look awful.
We haven't seen this juggernaut offense all year.
Can't run the ball.
It kind of started
struggling
late last season, and it carried into. They made it through to the gauntlet and made it to the Super Bowl, and then Tampa Bay completely shut them down. We haven't seen this
guys
juggernaut
wide
offense
open.
since.
I mean, I almost got man.
And we're talking about the Raiders now, and we were talking about the draft earlier. And here's the thing with the franchise in Las Vegas. I think you need to be, when you're drafting for your football team, I think you need to be really careful based upon where you're going to have these players live. Las Vegas, Sin City, it's a fun fucking town, man. It's really fun. And it's really fun for athletes who have lots of money all of a sudden who never had any money. It got Henry Ruggs. It got their running back at one point in time. He kind of got out of that thing with Jacobs. Damon Arnett, who was the cornerback out of Ohio State, he did something wild on Instagram or whatever, and he didn't like whatever somebody said to him, and he put a picture of himself up with a gun, a rifle, or something. I think it's a disadvantage to be in Las Vegas because of how crazy that city can be and how influential it can be on young athletes who just come into money.
Letting a team go there.
That's kind of like some sort of PSA, public service announcement. I don't know what that exactly was.
2 guys drinking in a garage.
Right. Chiefs minus 2.5, Dan.
Vegas.
Kansas City Chiefs, the never cover Kansas City Chiefs minus 2.5. They are. The line's short enough for me. This offense has to come somewhere.
It's short.
I like this. It's less than a field goal. I like the Chiefs a lot in this game. That was Sunday Night Football. Monday Night Football game is the Los Angeles Rams in division playing the San Francisco 49ers. The Rams are 7-2. The 49ers are 3-5. The Rams are 4-point favorites in this game. The over-under is 49. The Rams, we saw them on Sunday night. They lost against the Tennessee Titans.
They look bad.
Tennessee defense kind of shut them down. Matthew Stafford did not kind of look like himself. After the initial, and Tennessee didn't even really survive the beginning because I feel like the Rams went right down and got a touchdown against them, and then all hell broke loose, and Tennessee just dominated the game from there.
Yeah, their defense just took over.
San Francisco, they come off their win against Green Bay, right? Here's the thing: that offense. I don't know what the score.
They won against who? Not Green Bay.
San Francisco. Oh yeah, that's right. Who did they beat? I don't know who they beat. But anyway,
not too many people. They're only 3-5.
They're 5. But here's the thing: that offense is not dynamic at all.
What happened to this great coach,
Kyle Shanahan?
What's going on?
And what about Trey Lance?
The guy?
Oh, he's a defensive guy, but
and I always thought the defense played good just because they drafted good.
Yeah, but my question is, the offense isn't really putting up points and things like that. Why not give that rookie a chance? He's healthy. Just going to stick with Garoppolo?
Maybe they're trying to get another draft pick.
No,
but I don't
come
know
on. You got to believe in Lance, and I think the Bears.
They're going to need a left tackle. Isn't their left tackle that old dude?
Joe Staley? I don't know who you're talking about.
Who's their left tackle?
Why are we
Who's the
talking about
dude
this?
from Washington that they got? Williams?
Oh, yeah, Trent Williams, maybe.
How old is he?
48? I don't know.
Yeah, well.
he's not that old. Anyway, the Rams are -4 in this game. I like them to
Rams.
bounce back. So do I. Dan and I both on the Rams -4 in this game. Buys this week of my Chicago Football Bears, the Cincinnati Bengals, who went from 2 weeks ago being the #1 seed to being in last place of the AFC North. The Houston Texans and New York Giants are on bye. Elephant picks, Dan. Elephant picks. We have
Oh, my God.
did we need to go through this in regards to the games we have different? Baltimore, Miami. I took Baltimore. You took Miami. Is that right?
Yeah.
We both took the Jets. We have one difference so far. We both took Tampa. You took Dallas, right? I took
Yeah.
Atlanta. There's 2. New Orleans, Tennessee. We both took Tennessee.
I think so.
Really? You
Yeah.
think so? I
I
took
didn't
Tennessee
take
for
New
sure.
Orleans.
Jacksonville, Indy. You took Jax.
Jags.
I took Indy as 3. We both took Detroit. I took New England. You're obviously going to take Cleveland as 4. You took Minnesota. Detroit as 5. Holy shit. We both are on Arizona. Philly, Denver. I think we both took Denver, right? We have
Green
5.
Bay.
We have 6 because I
You
took.
picked Seattle.
I did. That's number 6.
I picked
different.
Vegas.
And I took Kansas City 7. We've never had this many different. We both took the Rams. Wow, 7 different. We're going to see what happens here. Hopefully it's not too ugly one way or the other. If it is, I hope it's on Dan's side. Maybe we'll break out the horns. If it is the holiday horns, it's holiday time, right, Dan? Is it not holiday time?
No. I ain't putting that shit on until after Thanksgiving.
I was looking for the college football rankings. We're going to Big Ten country for
Wait, so who's the elephant pick?
Oh, yeah, shit. I think the blueberry milkshake IPAs get me.
I'm taking the Rams.
Still looking.
We just went over it again.
I know. I forgot to think about it. I'll be there in a second. Tennessee -3 against New Orleans. I like that steam roller to continue. I like Tennessee. Who'd you get? You took the Rams?
Rams.
All right, very good. Those are Dan and I's elephant picks. We're running hot with those, so that's a good news. The bonus college football pick is the Purdue Boilermakers, who are ranked 19th. They travel to Columbus to play the Ohio State Buckeyes. The Buckeyes are freshly minted number 4.
How about the college ranking bullshit? How is Michigan State below Michigan? Michigan State beat Michigan head to head.
They did.
It's the biggest crock of shit.
I don't like either of those teams ranked really. I don't know. There's a lot of parity in
I
regards to
agree.
stuff.
Oklahoma should be ahead of both of them.
I agree. Even though Oklahoma's undefeated, they haven't showed well, and we're
They
gonna
haven't
find.
showed well, but they're undefeated.
That was the other game I was gonna put on the board. They play Baylor this week. I think they're like 5-point favorites or something like that in Baylor in Waco. Baylor in Waco? I think it's in Waco.
Waco. Yeah.
Anyway, we're getting back to this game. Ohio State's a three touchdown favorite in this game, exactly, -21. But here's the thing with Purdue. I mean, talk about running hot. In the last 3 weeks, they beat number 2 in the rankings and then came back a week later and beat number 3 in the rankings.
Yeah, no,
Are they gonna? And the Buckeyes didn't look great out in Lincoln, Nebraska last week against.
No.
I mean, are the Buckeyes going to cover this number?
3 touchdowns?
3
No.
touchdown favorites.
I'll take
I agree with
Purdue.
Dan. I like Jeff Brom, who's the head coach of the Purdue Boilermakers.
Purdue spoils.
I think
every
Ohio
year.
State wins this game.
They do, but-
and I tell you what, Ohio State, and I knew it was going to come out. That means we're running long. Ohio State has an absolute gauntlet coming up, and they will 1,000% earn their way in. They get Purdue, they back it up with Michigan State, then their arch rival Michigan. If they make it through that 3-game gauntlet, they get to play in the Big Ten championship game against. I don't know.
Wisconsin,
It's all mixed up.
Minnesota.
Is it Minnesota? It's not Minnesota anymore necessarily because Illinois, my Illinois football team,
Yeah,
went in
I mean, it's
Minnesota out of
pretty
nowhere and
close.
won. So, all right, that is Dan and I are both on the Boilermakers, getting in 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, are we going to rail on the college football committee?
You can. I don't necessarily have a problem with it.
What do you, okay. How's Michigan State not in front of Michigan?
I test.
That's bullshit. I test. They played each other. One kicked the shit out of the other.
Kick the shit out of them?
How
Michigan
many yards
State-
rushing did the dude have?
Kenneth Walker a lot.
Yeah.
He's a Michigan State running back.
Michigan
with that
was
being
winning
said,
in the first half,
Michigan
and Michigan
kicked the
State
shit out of
came
Michigan
out
State
and kicked-
for 3 quarters.
Oh, bullshit. No, get out of here.
Neither of us are necessarily. I mean, we live in the state of Ohio, and we root for the Ohio State Buckeyes to an extent. We're both Notre Dame homers. I think the loyal listeners know that. But yeah, I don't know. I like the fact that the eye test is an important part. It never was part of the equation before with the AP voters and bullshit. I hate it. Go to 8 teams. I mean, I know we're gonna still have the argument of who's 9 and 10. This other happy horse shit.
Go to some computer bullshit like they do in high school.
Go to 8 teams. You don't think number 8 Oklahoma has a shot against Georgia? Maybe not against their defense, but whatever.
Well,
I mean, anything can happen in these games. Go to 8.
No shit.
I mean, anyway. All right, very good. That's your entire week of, the National Football League. Your bonus pick for college football. Veterans Day is tomorrow.
Yes. Thank you for your service.
Yes, thank you for your service.
It allows us to do stupid shit that we do all the time.
Yeah, thank you for your courage. It allows all of us to sleep better at night for what you do. So we certainly appreciate that. I hope everybody has a great Veterans Day. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. It's been a great week of On Top of Cage.